Council President Lyda.
Here.
Council Pro Tem Posey.
Here.
Councilmember Sweeney. Councilmember Driver.
Here.
Councilmember Murphy.
Present.
Councilmember Middlebrooks.
Here.
Councilmember McClinton.
Here. With the quorum present, we will call the meeting to order and ask everyone to please stand for the invocation and then remain standing for the pledge to be led by Councilor Driver.
Dear Heavenly Father, let us reach out to you and God. Bring clarity to our decisions and blessings with each step. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a near full house tonight. A lot of folks that the mayor would like to recognize. So Mayor, I'd like to turn the podium over to you for your special recognition.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it, and you're correct. We have a number of proclamations this evening, and we are proud to invite up for the first one, MS Awareness Week. Dr. Lisa Costa is here, Ms. Rebecca Haberman, and Dr. Jeremy Zakowski. If y'all would come down, we sure would appreciate it. Mr. City Attorney, if you would, please read the proclamation.
Whereas multiple sclerosis is a neurological disease of the central nervous system affecting over 1 million people in the United States alone, and whereas multiple sclerosis generally strikes people in the prime of life between the ages 20 through 50, and the cause and course of the often debilitating symptoms of MS remain unknown and no cure currently exists. And whereas the National Multiple Sclerosis Society is committed to a world free of MS, heightening public knowledge about and insight into the disease. And whereas together we have transformed what it means to live with MS and provided global leadership to help achieve our vision of a world free of MS. Since 1946, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society has been a driving force of MS research, relentlessly pursuing prevention, treatments, and a cure, and has invested more than $1 billion in groundbreaking research. And whereas funds raised through the National Multiple Sclerosis Society fuel research on pathways to MS cures and invest in the MS research workforce at the best medical centers, universities, and other institutions throughout the U.S. and abroad, leading to many breakthroughs in the treatment of MS. Whereas the mission of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society is to cure MS while empowering people affected by MS to live their best lives, and one that all Americans and Alabamians should support. Whereas the city of Hoover, Alabama recognizes the importance of finding the cause and cure of MS and expresses its appreciation for the dedication that the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana market has shown towards creating a world free of MS. Now, therefore, we, Frank D. Mercado, Mayor, and John B. Lyda, City Council President, and on behalf of the residents of the City of Hoover and the Hoover City Council, do hereby encourage the citizens of Hoover to join us in observing the week of March 9th through 15th, 2025 as MS Awareness Week. We also encourage our citizens to learn more about multiple sclerosis and do what they can to support individuals with MS and their families.
Mayor, City Council, guests, although I know y'all aren't here for us, but grateful that it's a big crowd. I'm the market president for the National MS Society here in Birmingham, and I have Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And we have a wonderful Birmingham Community Council who made it their job this year to reach out to the cities that they live in to do proclamations. And we're so grateful that you all have decided to do this to highlight MS Awareness Week. We have an abundance of volunteers and donors that support this mission and this cause to eradicate this disease. But most importantly, we're here to bring awareness to the people who are living with MS and their caregivers, because they live, in some cases, a debilitating way of life. And some people have it and you don't even know that they have it. But it's a disease that needs to be paid attention to, and we need more awareness for that. And we're just so grateful that you all decided to do this for us. So thank you very much.
And next we have Women in Construction Week, and we have Gloria Cook with Robinson and Morton, Melinda Garrett with Robbins and Morton, Amber Kinney with Dunn Construction, Wilma Pennick with Building and Earth Sciences, Tina Thompson with Core Construction, and Bernetta Woodbury with Brassville and Corey. If they would come up. It's good to see these ladies again.
Whereas the Greater Birmingham chapter of the National Association of Women in Construction has distinguished itself for 58 years as the voice of women in construction in the metropolitan Birmingham area. And whereas the work done by the Greater Birmingham chapter has benefited metropolitan Birmingham area through community development and educational programs. Whereas the Greater Birmingham chapter has unceasingly promoted the employment and advancement of women in the construction industry. And whereas the construction community represented by the Greater Birmingham chapter has been a driving force in fostering community development through renovation and beautification projects, promotion of skilled trades careers, and positive vision of the future. And whereas the Greater Birmingham chapter has sought to achieve successful results for metropolitan Birmingham area and surrounding areas in a cooperative spirit with other organizations. Now therefore, we, Frank B. Burcato, Mayor, and John B. Lyda, City Council President, and on behalf of the residents of the City of Hoover and the Hoover City Council, do hereby recognize the Greater Birmingham chapter and its many dedicated volunteers for its steadfast work on behalf of and support of women in construction, and do proudly proclaim the week of March 2nd through 8th, 2025 as Women in Construction Week, and encourage our citizens to congratulate the organization on its many accomplishments.
On behalf of NAWAC Greater Birmingham, we'd like to thank the City of Hoover for supporting us over the years. It's been an honor and privilege to be able to do this with you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us as we support you. Thank you.
And what a privilege it is to have in the house Ms. Hoover's team. Would you come up? And, you know, we actually have Ms. Hoover and Materials here as well, but we're going to ask Ms. Hoover's team to come up. And we would like Dr. Christina Norman, her mom, to come up as well, and Landon Norman, her brother, to come up as well.
Whereas Christina Ray Norman was crowned Miss Hoover's Teen 2025 on July 12, 2024 at the City of Hoover Library Theater. And whereas Christina will represent the City of Hoover during the 2025 Miss Alabama's Teen Competition in March. Phases of competition include a private interview, evening gown, onstage questions, talent, lifestyle, and fitness. And whereas Christina will make numerous appearances throughout the city and promote her community service initiative, Lanterns for Landon, Down Syndrome Awareness. This was created in honor of her younger brother Landon, who has Down syndrome. Christina's community service initiative and her 501c3 nonprofit organization called Lanterns for Landon Foundation provides awareness, education, and funding for individuals with Down syndrome, grants for camp financial assistance. Christina's curriculum guide sheet has been sent to all the school districts across Alabama and in other states. Whereas Christina received a $1,000 scholarship for her year of service to the city to aid in pursuing her college education. And whereas upon completion of a Bachelor of Arts degree in dance with a minor in kinesiology, Christina's ultimate goal is to dance professionally and provide dance classes for all individuals regardless of their ability. Now therefore, we, Frank D. Boyte, Mayor, and John B. Lyda, City Council President, and on behalf of the residents of the City of Hoover and the Hoover City Council, do hereby present this proclamation to Ms. Christina Ray Norman and congratulate her on her winning title and role as Miss Hoover's Team 2025.
Hi everyone, I just want to say a few brief words. I wanted to thank the council, the city of Hoover, the mayor, the Hoover Foundation, and I wanted to tell you all thank you so much for your encouragement and support throughout this year. I mean, I'm competing for Miss Alabama's teen this weekend, which is incredible, and I get to represent this amazing city, also my hometown, and so that's very, very special to me this weekend. And so thank you so much for all your support this year, and I'm excited for this weekend.
Thank you so much. We're excited to hear how you do, and you have all of our support. We're looking forward to it. All righty, let's see. We have planted a lot of trees in the last 2 or 3 weeks in this city and in all these schools, and we've got some of the finest young people in the audience that you could ever want, and we want to introduce them this evening, and I'm going to turn that over to Ms. Charlene Young, our Hoover Beautification Board, who is our chairperson, Christine Hoffman, co-chair, Carolyn Hudson, co-chair, and Colin Connor, is Colin here? Colin Connor, our City of Hoover, as well, and we have a proclamation that we want to do first, and then we are going to invite these students up to present them with an opportunity as well. Right? Great. All right. If all of you ladies would come up, we would appreciate it.
Whereas in 1872, Mr. J. Sterling Morton championed America's first Arbor Day celebration in Nebraska City, Nebraska, where more than 1 million trees were planted. And whereas in 1887, Alabama Governor Thomas Say signed the state's first Arbor Day proclamation. And whereas in 1975, the Alabama State Legislature adopted an act designating the last full week in February as Arbor Week in Alabama. Whereas it was the purpose of that designation, as well as the designation of Arbor Day throughout the nation, to encourage the planting of trees, encourage sound tree conservation, and encourage the protection of trees and forests from destructive pests, wildfire, vandalism, and practices that degrade forest health, beauty, and sustainability. And whereas through the cooperation of all Hoover residents, businesses, and government, in recognizing the beneficial effects of healthy trees and forests, practicing sound tree conservation and protecting trees from their natural and unnatural enemies, Hoover can pass on the enduring and vital heritage of its urban forest resource to succeeding generations. And whereas in appreciation for the exemplary leadership and dedication displayed by Hoover Beautification Board member Michael L. Zarinjak, in organizing Hoover's Arbor Day celebration from 1999 to 2013. All future Arbor Day celebrations shall be conducted in a manner that will honor Mike's memory and his undeniable passion for trees. Now therefore, we, Frank B. Burkado, Mayor, and John B. Lyda, City Council President, and on behalf of the residents of the City of Hoover and the Hoover City Council, do hereby proclaim Saturday, March 1st, 2025 as Arbor Day in Hoover, Alabama. We encourage everyone able to do so to observe this day through the planting of one or more trees and or through participation in one or more programs that the sponsors of Arbor Day may provide.
Thank you to the mayor and city council for this proclamation. It's always wonderful to get that sort of recognition for our city. Each year, our city, along with the Hoover Beautification Board, hosts Arbor Day, and that was this last Saturday. But one of the activities that we have that's associated with Arbor Day is the 4th grade essay contest. The theme this year was Trees for Tomorrow. The future is in our hands. All 4th grade students had the opportunity to submit their essays to their own schools. The top 3 essays were selected by their school, and then they were sent to the Hoover Beautification Board for judging. Tonight, we are honored to present to each of the school winners and the overall winner with a certificate and with a ribbon. Christine Hoffman and Carolyn Hudson co-chaired the Arbor Day event, and they will assist with the presentation of the certificates and ribbons. So I will call each of the students up, and we will start with Sebastian Willie, Bluff Park Elementary School. Yes, I think one at a time. They can be seated, and we'll call the next one. Aaron Collins, Brockstaff. William Azok, Deer Valley.
We gotta get set up, sorry.
Luke Hamby, Greystone. Juliana Faley Gwen.
I know we have some principals and teachers in the audience too. If your student has been called and you're the principal or a teacher, would you please stand and be recognized? Sorry we didn't do that earlier. Got some. If you're called that, or your students, please stand and be recognized along with their with the student, if you would.
Joshua Hitchcock, Green Valley. Hannah Ma, Shades Mountain. Eddie Molina, Trace Crossings. We will now have Alice Boyte, our overall winner from Rocky Ridge Elementary. Alice is going to bring her essay up, and she's going to share that with us this evening. Can we get her to read it briefly?
Let's see, is there will that little microphone right there?
It will.
That little,
You want this one?
Testing, test. Come on. You mind reading it like this? Is that okay? Okay, I'll go with you.
Hello, my name is Alice Boyte. I'm going to be reading Trees for Tomorrow, Trees from the Past. My grandparents planted a tree for my mom when she was born. They called it the Katie tree. I've seen pictures of my mom when she was little, standing next to the tiny sapling. It was very small. My grandparents do not live in the same house or town, but in recent pictures, the tree is almost twice as tall as the house. It is really cool how to look at the big Katie tree is now with hundreds of branches all over. I think about my mom's tree and how it has provided for people and animals over the years. I bet there are birds that build nests in it during the summer. The tree is a flowering tree, so it produces big white blooms in spring. I can picture bees and butterflies flying all around and using it to pollinate for food. It is a deciduous tree, so the leaves turn bright red and orange in the fall. I hope there's a kid living there now to climb to the top and play in the leaves and sit under the Katy tree shade. One tree can have a lot of impact in almost 40 years. Thinking about this tree makes me feel happy, hopeful, and excited. I think I'm going to ask my parents to help me plant an Alice tree this Arbor Day. If I can take care of it, I bet it will grow big and strong like the Katy tree. My hope is for it to provide food, shelter, beauty, oxygen, and shade for people and animals. Even one tree can make the future a healthier and happier place. And I did plant the Alice tree this Saturday.
We want to congratulate all of our winners. Thank you for sharing your essay, Alice.
Next on our agenda, we have a very special guest, Ms. Aastha Shastri, who is here to tell us about a special event coming up this weekend at Veterans Park.
Hello, good evening everyone. My name is Aastha Shastri and I am here to invite the Hoover City Council for an event that I have conceptualized over many years. Where each of us should welcome spring together in a South Asian way. So we will be combining two festivals of South Asia, Holi, which is Festival of Colors, and kites, we call it Uttarayan or Makar Sankranti. And these two festivals has been celebrated in India for many, many years. This event will be vibrant celebration with activities like kite flying, color powder toss, Indian music, dance, DJ, Indian instrument, food trucks, kids face painting, kids seed starting learning table, photo booth, games, and Hoover ballerinas trying Bollywood dance for the first time. Also, I just got the confirmation from the Hoover Public Library book mobile too. They will be there as well. So I'm here to warmly request the city council members to join us and spread the occasion with us. It will be so much fun. I really want to thank you, our mayor, who always help us and support us with our Salvation Festival. And for today, I do want to thank you, Steve. Thank you so very much. And the event will be on March 8th, Saturday at Veterans Park at 12 p.m. Onward. Thank you, everyone.
We will now move to our consent agenda, beginning with item 1, going through item 13. These consent items are presented that will be discussed, they will not be discussed, and there will be one motion and one vote, unless, of course, a member of the body or a member of the public would like to remove any item from consent and move it to regular agenda. I'll ask the members of the body first, any item that you would like removed from consent to regular agenda. Is there any member of the public here who would like to have an item removed from consent to regular? Seeing none, Mr. Cordy, if you'll read the item.
Item 1 approves the payment of bills. Item 2 approves the minutes from the February 13th, 2025 work session and the February 17th, 2025 meeting. Item 3, resolution number 838525 approves a 140 special events retail alcohol license for Jimco LLC doing business as Beef O'Brady's St. Patrick's Day event located at 5519 Grove Boulevard, Suite 109, Hoover, Alabama. Item 4, resolution number 838625 authorizes the treasurer of the city of Hoover to advance the sum of $4,000 to Captain Chuck McDonald to defray traveling costs and expenses to be incurred in connection with his attendance at the FBI National Academy training, and further authorizes the treasurer of the city of Hoover to reimburse Captain McDonald for any expense over $4,000 upon his return from the academy and submission of an itemized statement of expenses showing the costs incurred. In the event the amount approved herein is in excess of the itemized statement of expenses incurred, Captain McDonald shall reimburse the city for the excess amount. Item number 5, resolution 838725 authorizes Mayor Mercado to execute amendment number 1 to the agreement with Locality Media, Inc., doing business as First Due for fire department software. Item 6, resolution 838825 authorizes granting of an access easement over city-owned property to a parcel of landlocked property located at 8167 Annika Drive, Hoover, Alabama, to provide such landlocked property with public road access to Annika Drive, and further authorizes Mayor Mercado to execute a plat map entitled Resurvey of Lot P1 Hoover property and Lot 1 Nunnally property describing and showing such easement. Item 7, resolution number 838925 authorizes donation of certain real property described in the resolution to the state of Alabama Department of Transportation for the construction of the Big Valleydale Road widening project for Track 44, and authorizes Mayor Mercado to execute any documents related thereto. Item number 8, resolution 839025 authorizes donation of certain real property described in the resolution to the state of Alabama Department of Transportation for construction of the Big Valleydale Road widening project for Track 63B, and authorizes Mayor Mercado to execute any documents necessary. Item number 9, resolution number 839125 authorizes Mayor Mercado to accept a bid for bid number 25-001 from J.D. Morris Construction Company, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $442,467.16 for the Topo Tree Lane Sidewalk Project for the city of Hoover, Alabama, and authorizes Mayor Mercado to execute an agreement reflecting the same. Item number 10, resolution number 839225 authorizes Mayor Mercado to accept a bid for bid number 25-003 from Standard Roofing of Montgomery, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $1,015,000 per year for the Hoover Library 2025 Roof Improvement Project, sections B and C, for the city of Hoover, Alabama, and authorizes Mayor Mercado to execute an agreement reflecting the same. Item 11, resolution 839325 amends the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025 to accept community partnership contributions totaling $31,275 toward the Galleria Market Study, and to permit the additional expenditure related to the project. Item 12, resolution 839425 authorizes Mayor Mercado to execute a professional services agreement with Hunden Partners to complete a market feasibility and redevelopment strategy for Central Hoover with a focus on the River Chase Galleria. And item 13, resolution 8155-24B amends the temporary moratorium on certain new businesses within the city of Hoover to clarify the application of said moratorium to existing licenses.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second. We have a motion and second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. We'll now move to the regular agenda. Item number 14, resolution number 8395-25.
This resolution authorizes expenditure of funds in the amount of $100,000 to the Hoover Chamber of Commerce for the Elevate Hoover program from the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution number 8395-25.
Second. We have a motion and second for approval. Any comments or questions from the body? Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Ayes have it, the motion carries. Item number 15 is for a first reading, ordinance number 25-2668. Mr. Coleman.
This ordinance amends ordinance number 263 to rezone property located at 5245 Ross Ridge Parkway, Lot 2, to C2 Community Business District. A public hearing is scheduled for March 17th, 2025.
This is a first reading. We will gather again on March 17th to hear this for a second time and for a potential vote. Mr. Martin went over the item with us on Thursday night. He'll be back with us for the next work session to catch us up on any updates from that. That brings us to the end of our regular agenda. Any comments from the council tonight?
Mr. President, do you mind if I make a couple statements? I had the pleasure, I try once a year to do a ride along with the police department. And I tell you, I say this every year, but every year I ride along with them just for that night shift. You learn a lot more. You definitely learn the level of training that goes into the things that they do. Most of us, you know, we wake up, we're in a safe environment, and we enjoy that. But we got to realize we have 40,000 cars that travel through our city each and every day, and a lot of activity occurs at night. I'm gonna do a couple of did you know statements, right? Did you know the region only has 2 psychiatric facilities in the area? What that means is that majority of the calls police and fire go on are medical related or mental related. We went to a site where a gentleman called and stated that I need some assistance because I feel like I want to hurt myself and someone else. Also, the report came in while I was riding with the officer. He stated he had warrants as well too. Asked the question from the officer, how in the world do you prepare yourself for a situation knowing someone has stated that, and also they have warrants? And you can tell training kick in there. He stated that, look, we've already trained to handle tough situations. However, our number one goal is to make sure they're safe and the people around them safe. Extremely calm. He also stated that if we just put them in jail, we don't know if they had their medication. We don't know if they took their insulin. We don't know if they took their blood pressure medicine. They can hurt themselves or somebody can take advantage of it. So the system is set up for, instead of just evaluate them, send them to jail, you can send them to a psych ward, but there's not many in the area. The fire department came up. The protocol they went through, they transported them to a particular hospital. So I do want to say that, you know, we definitely enjoy our public safety, but the things they deal with each and every day, they don't know if that's going to be the last day they do their job or not, but they go each and every day with a certain level of confidence. And the number one thing they consistently stated every day, we're trained if something arises, but our number one goal is to ensure we take care of our citizens. So Mayor, Chief, both chiefs, that's just, I'm so thank you so much. It opens my eyes each and every time I ride along. So thank you for all the hard work that you and your team do each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. The council also wishes to recognize, and we'll have an opportunity, Mayor, in coming weeks to welcome these student athletes and their coaches into the chamber, but our Hoover Lady Bucs made it 5 in a row. It's 7-8 state champions in basketball. and our boys team made it 3 in a row. So Hoover basketball is at the top of the undefeated, that's right, 36 and under, 35 and under. An unblemished record, so we look forward to honoring them and celebrating them here in the chamber very soon. Any other comments from the board?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
People that do technology do not often get credit they deserve, but I want to thank everyone involved in putting together a makeshift system tonight so we could webcast this meeting. It's something I do every day, but it's not something that is often recognized. That folks put out these mics for us to use and put a camera in the back of the room when our, more elaborate system went down. And because of a squirrel, I understand. Chipmunk. And when you're dealing with a low voltage system like this, it's not something that's as protected as your higher wattage elements. So it's going to take some work to get it back going, but this has been great, and it's allowed us to webcast and continue what we promised we would do to our citizens. So thank you, everyone involved.
Any comments from the public? Yes, ma'am.
K.T. Thomas, Scout Creek. The City of Hoover sent a letter to ADEM June 10th, 2022. The subject was the draft NPDES permit for Homewood, Alabama. The focus of the letter was about long and short-term prevention and removal of trash from entering waterways. Hoover made 3 points. This would require spending money, public money, on private land. It might make the city liable for damage to private property, and the definition of trash was unknown. The section of the permit referenced by Hoover was pollution prevention, good housekeeping for municipal operations. While this section refers to city streets, and Hoover does accept city streets as part of the MS4, it is really about maintenance garages, greenhouses, storage facilities, and so forth, not about private property. If the city damages private property, it seems like they should be responsible. The language in the draft permit did not change from the previous permit, approved June 7th, 2017. So the subject of this letter had been in effect for 5 years, and yet the city protested it. Hoover should know that ADEM is not allowed to reduce requirements in the permit. They can increase them or they can clarify them. So the point was moved before the letter was sent. Excuse me. Hoover can't define trash. ADEM suggested they find a dictionary. When ADEM issued the permit, they basically responded with Holi to all the comments made by the city. So I have 3 more points. Hoover made some comments on 4 other NPDES permits at the same time: Vestavia, Mountain Brook, Tarrant, and Irondale. Same comments. ADEM received no comments for those 5 permits from anyone other than Hoover, including the 5 cities themselves. The only complaints came from the city of Hoover. The letter begins with, "I am the city attorney for the city of Hoover, Alabama, and have been asked to comment." I would ask, by whom? The mayor, the city council, the city engineer, residents? Who asked? Question everything.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Matt Winther, Scout Creek Drive. Election season is getting into full swing. Many current council members have announced they will be running again. Others have announced they will run for elected office, challenging many of you. I encourage everyone to consider who elected officials serve: Hoover's citizens. Again, you are elected by the citizens of Hoover to represent their interests. You are not elected by home builders, developers, or corporations. They have no voting rights. Fiscal responsibility is among the most important public interests. This council is expected to be the keeper of the purse, and the council has seen some challenges in managing the purse. These challenges are at least in part caused by council members getting a filtered view of finance, legal, and other matters. I hope that in the time remaining in this term, this council learns from the past and insists on more complete information. We, the citizens, the voters, are watching. Financial responsibility related to stormwater and legal expenditure seems to be completely misaligned. As a city, we are not planning for our stormwater infrastructure's long-term maintenance and overall health. Hoover approves developments that damage property owners and overwhelm existing stormwater infrastructure. This costs the residents in property value, property damage, infrastructure upgrades, and city reputation. We are spending substantial resources, both money and time, to do less regarding stormwater infrastructure rather than striving to be the best or at least adequate. These problems will not go away. In fact, they will only get worse and cost citizens more to repair. Here are a few suggestions I have for the council. Get an understanding of stormwater related issues in the city. I'm happy to have a conversation. Plan for near-term and long-term stormwater related projects and expenses. Mr. Murphy gets it. Break down legal expenses by matter over time, not just related to stormwater. Evaluation criteria for success and outcomes. I think you'll be enlightened. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minter. Anyone else? Very good. Appreciate your attendance, Richard. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. My agenda got wet. We will entertain a motion to go, thank you, Mr. Corley, to go into executive session.
Mr. President, I move to go into executive session.
Second. This motion to go into executive session is to discuss with our attorney our legal ramifications and legal opinions for pending litigation. The city attorney has given Ms. Dickerson a written certification as required by law for an executive session involving pending litigation. A motion and a second has been made. We will now take a roll call vote on the motion, Ms. Dickerson.
Councilor Posey?
Aye.
Councilor Driver?
Aye.
Councilor Murphy?
Aye.
Councilor Middlebrooks?
Aye.
Councilor McClinton?
Aye.
Councilor Lyda?
Aye, with a vote of 6 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries to go into executive session. Those present are advised that this committee has voted to go into executive session to hear further information concerning such matters as required by law. Any deliberation between the members of this body relating to these issues will be conducted in an open meeting. The council expects or does not expect to reconvene the meeting at the conclusion of the executive session. The council will now enter executive session, and this meeting will be adjourned at the conclusion of that session. Thank you for your attendance.
Take care, Joe. Hi, John. How you doing?